On today's show, we are going to hear from new Executive Director of Community Living Upper Ottawa Valley, Tina Williams, about how their staff has been able to implement new technology to continue to connect the people that they support.
Congratulations on becoming the new Executive Director. It's probably very exciting. You've been with the organization for a while. I guess other than the COVID-19 delays and changes, what's it been like in the new role?
Well, thank you. It started as an exciting time where after the first couple months, I was starting to gain confidence and fully understanding the role, the function, responsibility of the position. This organization has invested in me, and I was fortunate to be part of the leadership team planning towards succession. So when the crisis surfaced, it meant that we had to very quickly take action and initiate a response. And we have a fantastic team here at Community Living, and everyone from part-time staff to direct supervisors and our management team had a hand in developing and adhering to that response. I am thankful that our county has low numbers yet, but I think that it's great that our staff have taken things so seriously, and I appreciate that our staff and our board and community partners have the confidence in my new leadership.
Awesome. And I guess you kind of a little bit of your backstory. You've been involved with the organization. You've kind of you've been a part of a lot of the growth. And in the Ottawa Valley in particular, you guys are a stellar organization when it comes to community living. You guys have a lot of accreditations. Kind of getting into this role, is there kind of like big shoes to fill, or do you feel that with the team that you have around you that you've worked with for so long, this will just continue?
Yeah, well, I think we're a growing organization, and we're not at all a status quo organization. So there's always big responsibilities, and we're taking on new initiatives, and we're helping people that we've maybe never met before to have to figure out what it is they would want for a quality of life for themselves. And so our team is really strong. We have a team that has a lot of history with the organization, and everybody is committed to our values and vision. And that's a big part of our orientation when we onboard new staff. But it really has held true through all of this crisis.
Now, May is Community Living Month. You guys are probably usually out in the communities right now and sharing all that information and the wealth and educating people. That's not really able to happen with COVID-19 restrictions. You guys have quite the Facebook campaign going on. If anybody is interested, definitely go and check that out, because you guys tons of stories about staff and their experiences. Could you tell us a little bit about that campaign and what it's meant to how it's meant to educate the community?
Sure. Well, we have a community development committee that works together and looks at what we'll do each year, not just around Community Living Month, but all year round. And this year, we certainly don't have as many initiatives as we typically do, but I was really proud of the Facebook campaign. We've been doing a 31 days of inclusion campaign each year for the last several years. 2 years ago was our 60th, so we featured all 31 days on our history of the organization. And last year, we focused on community partners and ways that they're contributing to our organization and to the lives of people we support. But this year, it's neat because we focused on our staff. And staff are telling their own stories. They're sharing their own pictures. Some of those I'm seeing for the first time as they're posted on Facebook. And I think it's great because it's been an amazing representation of the diversity and the complexity of our supports.
More from Tina when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Heading into kind of switching gears to the not so pleasant conversations, because it's been going on for 3 months and we feel like it'll never end, but hopefully it will. The COVID-19 restrictions and just the shutdown, how does that affect the work or the service that you guys provide, the assistance that you provide?
Well, as you can imagine, many of the folks that we support have complicating health issues and therefore would be more at risk if the virus was contracted. So health and safety has been our biggest focus. But this has been a huge impact on our overall well-being and initiatives, and everything we do has to do with how do we help people be as inclusive in their communities as possible. And so this has had to be a hard stop to that. Our staff have quickly become experts in using technology. Everybody's on some sort of Zoom or Skype or, ways to connect with people face to face. But their typical supports of helping people to connect to their community are missing. So we're really having to fill a bit of a void. And when you think of health and safety, the physical piece, I think we're doing an excellent job at. But in terms of overall wellness and addressing loneliness and helping people to have the comfort and what they need within their homes, and their communities have obviously shrunk. It's within your own backyard and your household. So we're having to think outside the box in terms of how do we help people connect with those around them. And when they can't, what void can we fill? We're doing a wellness campaign where we have a committee of really keen staff who've come together to hold calls twice a week for anyone who's connected with our organization. That could be board staff, people we support. They're doing one man who retired is doing chair yoga once a week through a Zoom call. We're having scavenger hunts and games online so people can participate, and then we send them prizes so that it feels a little more connected. One call at 10:30 today, one of our supervisors is hosting a call, and she's calling it Down on the Farm because she lives on a farm, and so she's going to introduce the group to her pot-bellied pig and some other farm animals, which should be fun.
But you guys are kind of creating this online community through the people that you support.
Well, we're trying, and it obviously doesn't replace anyone's true connections, real connections. Not that staff aren't real, but we try really hard to connect people to their families and to their friends, and you can see the genuine excitement in someone's face when they see someone also on the call that they hadn't seen in a while, and that's generally directed at people, not us.
Yeah. Your staff have been able to adapt. Like you said, you shared that information about how they've been able to adapt. What's it been like? What have you seen? What are your thoughts on how your team has kind of turned it on its head and still be able to provide that service in a totally different way?
Well, at first we were trying to play catch up. Every week we had new directives to follow. We had new initiatives. We had emails going out to staff almost daily. We've been able to slow up on a bit of that and sort of hold the line and make sure that people have what they need. So we have the personal protective equipment that staff need. We have masks available, gloves, hand washing stations. We have systems set up in those settings where more than a couple people live together so that we can help keep our staff and the people we support as safe as possible. But they're really doing cool things. People are taking on new hobbies. People are listening to their staff play guitars. They're gardening. They're doing, basement cleanups that nobody's had a chance to look at for a while. They're connecting with people broader than just their immediate family, and so that's really neat. We had someone reach out to us yesterday from the mall saying, hey, we'd like to do something for someone who we've missed, who usually works here and isn't here these days. How can we help out? So that's really neat that I think that the community has been nurtured to a degree that they recognize that's part of their role to contribute to everyone's well-being, not just the most vulnerable in our population, but, all of us need to reach out to each other. Yeah, well, our staff have been phenomenal. The commitment that they've shown, the commitment to people's well-being and to each other, checking in with other staff and checking in with the folks they support, even when they're not on shift, which isn't too often because all hands on deck almost all the time right now. But they've been phenomenal. And so I'd like to thank our staff and thank our management team who have been putting in all kinds of extra hours. Thank our board who has shown the commitment to be able to let us do what we need to do and support us in any way, shape, form that looks like. And to thank our community partners, especially those in health. They've been great to allow us to reach out to them and ask questions and form opinions and set up strategies so that we're as safe as possible.
All right, I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sharing all this information on the amazing stuff that your staff are doing to keep you guys at the front and at the top of your game, so to speak, in the new world of COVID-19.
Thank you, Trevor.